Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader, Stephanie. Today's reading is about how will your pregnancy go? So the way this reading works, well, first and foremost, it is not medical advice. Of course, not professional medical advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. You can choose multiple piles if you are having multiple pregnancies. If you feel like one is more about a pregnancy you've already had, then you can choose another one. You're also going to be tapping into your partner if one comes through for you. So we have 5 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have this rose quartz. Pile 2, we have the ocean or pistachio, seafoam, beautiful, regardless, whatever it's called, calcite. We have the black moonstone for pile 3. Pile 4, we have this gorgeous clear quartz tower. And pile 5, we have a selenite palm stone. So take a few deep breaths. If you are currently pregnant, then maybe take a few deep breaths with your belly. And I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the rose quartz, then we have a reading here for you about how will your pregnancy go. So I was called to do a reading about your pregnancy for those of you who are looking to get pregnant, become pregnant, or who currently may be pregnant. I don't know, it came out of nowhere, but it felt right. So we're going to see a few things, overall themes with the oracles. Then in the tarot, we're going to get more specifically into how, for some of you, possibly how you could conceive, who your partner will be, how your pregnancy will go, and what kind of child and child you will have, mother you will be, and anything else that could come through with that. So let's get started with the card you chose. You got 2 actually. We have the Lovers and the Queen of Cups. So this is definitely, I heard the word love child, but not in a bad way. So this is definitely a child that is going to have 2 parents who love each other. For those of you who are wondering, I do feel like, yes, this could easily be a child that is had within marriage, but even if it's not, like the 2 parents will be very into each other, and also very involved in the child's life. So I feel like for a lot of you, you are getting a partner that is going to be very involved in your pregnancy. For some of you, you may already know this, but for those of you who are wondering whether you were going to have a child that you raise on your own or whether the parent is going to be involved, that is going to come through. And a lot of you are going to adapt to motherly energy very well, is what I'm getting as well with that card, with those cards. So for those of you wondering, especially if you're single right now or don't have a partner, you may be like, am I going to end up having a kid by myself? I don't think so. I highly doubt this is going to be the case. It could also be that having a partner could be important in you becoming pregnant. Like you refuse to have a child without at least somebody to raise it with. So pile 1. All right, you keep getting 2 cards, which is interesting. We have Cannabis Detachment and Mukana Journey. What's interesting is I feel like you're not going to put too much, you're not going to be worrying so much about your pregnancy, oddly enough. It's like once you find out you are, like, yes, you're going to prepare, and yes, you're going to act accordingly, take the healthy procedures, cut out certain foods or drinks. It's going to be important, but you're still going to go about your daily life doing whatever it is that you do. I feel like you're not really going to feel it until much later. So it's basically like you don't really think much about it. You have a very detached way of viewing pregnancy, especially for those of you currently feeling very strongly about it, whether it's for or against, or maybe you have some worries about, what could happen. Once you conceive, once it actually happens, you're just like, okay, that's cool. Then you go about your daily life, and as you go, you just kind of prepare for everything. It's really about the journey. I feel like the person you become while you are pregnant and then once you have the child is really what matters. So I feel like you're not going to put, how some people make pregnancy and motherhood, parenthood all about their life, like they kind of become the whole thing. I don't think that's how you're going to be. And not because you are against it or because you reject it or anything. It's more like it's just another part of life to you. It's like, yeah, I'm going to have a baby, and people have babies, and that's it. I don't feel like you're going to be embracing it as a whole identity. Like you're still going to do your own thing. You're still going to have your own identity in conjunction with this, which is really interesting. And maybe it helps because you have a partner who's able to help you with this. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. Pile 1. Light and the unexpected. So this is definitely going to be an unexpected pregnancy. Like, I don't think you're planning for it, but at the same time, it doesn't bother you. Like, I feel like, for example, let's say you are in a partnership and you both already knew that you wanted to have kids. Once it happens, you're kind of like, oh, well, we weren't expecting it at this point in our lives, but you know what? We're both going to have, like, yeah, we're ready for it. We want it. We want to go on this journey together. Some of you could already be married, and maybe you've already been married for some years. It is unexpected, mostly because I think either it happens at an odd time or because you didn't think you could. Like, maybe there's some reason as to why you shouldn't be. Take that as it resonates. It could be your age. It could be because maybe you were on a contraceptive and it didn't work. By the way, none of this is medical advice. Even though we are talking about pregnancy, like, none of this is all very much speculation and for your entertainment purposes only. None of this is medical advice. But however, maybe the contraceptive didn't work, or maybe, you know, it's an accident, but, you know, a welcome one, because I don't see any negativity about this. It's more like a happy... I'm hearing a happy miracle, but also like a happy accident. And I hate using the word accident because from an energetic point of view, you know, nothing is an accident. Everything happens for a reason. But it's definitely like one of those things where like not even you could fathom through the universe that this would happen. Like, even if you're psychic yourself, maybe you weren't expecting it to happen when it happens. Also, the number 16 is coming through twice. So the 16th could be an important date. For a lot of you, maybe this is the day that this baby is born. Also the 30th, the 31st, and the 6th. So the 6th, 16th, or 31st, for those of you who were wondering about your date. Or June. Maybe June is a good month when this baby's born. Pile 1. We have healing the divine masculine. Osiris rises. This is gonna, whoever the masculine is in this partnership, it could be you or it could be your partner, because I do feel for a lot of you it will be your partner. It's going to heal them. This child is going to heal a lot within them. And if this is you, this could be your masculine side. You may come to peace with something from like your masculine side of your life or yourself. This could even be healing a father wound. Maybe some of you haven't spoken to your father in years. So when this happens, you kind of reach out and it's like, hey, especially, for example, if this is the first child, you're like, hey, you're going to have a grandchild, or you're going to have a kid through me, you know, things like that. So I do feel like the masculine side of yourself or your partner, or even just your partner in general, is healed through this, which is really interesting. I chose this deck because Isis is known as the mother goddess. And it's interesting that the one thing she is known to bring back to life is coming through here. So I also do feel like this will bring new life into your life. You know, I feel like it's going to bring something new. Really beautiful energy here. I do feel your partner very strongly in this pile though, pile 1, not going to lie. So if you don't have one now, I promise you will. And they're going to want to be very involved. Maybe that's why I keep getting 2 cards. It is possible that like your partner may want 1 card and you want 1 card. But this wasn't meant to be a you versus them, because that doesn't make sense for a pregnancy journey, because it is about you. But your partner may be very involved. Which again may explain why you would be a little detached. If your partner's like worrying, you're like, well, someone's got to not worry. Let it be me. You know, it's cute. We have Temple of the Rose, Ancient Power, Expression, Activation, Scarlet Codes. That's lovely. You're going to find there's some sort of femininity that comes through here. I think this is more on your part, pile 1, or whomever is the one who is pregnant. For the majority of you, of course, it will be you, but there's something that this brings out in you. Like, it brings a whole new side of you that is very, very sacred. And maybe your partner views yourself this way. Sorry, your partner views you this way, or you may view yourself this way. There's something almost sacred about it. Let me read from the book, because there's something interesting about this card. So we have, for millennium, a feminine power, expression, and wisdom have been suppressed. As a result, the feminine has been silenced and dismissed and disrespected. We've become disconnected from the earth and have stopped receiving revering our elders. But times are finally changing, and we're all part of this change. Every time we honor our body, express our wisdom, share our voice, and connect with our sensuality, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. So I do feel like there's a lot of healing in this pregnancy, and I feel like it's wonderful because it brings out a different side of you. I see you becoming more feminine and more soft, which in a good way, like soft as in like soft feminine energy, or even like your emotions are more natural, especially with the Queen of Cups here. For my femmes here, I do feel like you may even feel more quote womanly, whatever that may mean to you. And I feel this more like it could be because of your physical body, because of the changes your physical body will be going through. So maybe you finally grow into your hips and, you know, your chest or whatever it is. So you may feel more divine even when you're, you know, ballooning up to however much, but it feels good and it feels sacred, which is interesting. And I do feel like your partner is going to find this very attractive. Your partner keeps coming in through this pile one, I swear. That was not my intention, but they are coming through very strongly here with the Lovers and the Divine Masculine. Yeah, it's something unexpected, but something very welcome here for sure. So let's go ahead and get your cards pile, your tarot pile 1. There is a chance that you may get a little, what's the word, scatterbrained? Possibly because it could be the hormones. I know hormones can sometimes make us scatterbrained or a little ungrounded, which would explain why the masculine feels like they want to come through a lot, because they may be the ones keeping you grounded. So pile 1, let's start with conception, if you will. Even though they kind of, I feel like every question was already answered. I just want to get more confirmation or an explanation. So pile 1. Oh, this one popped up. We have the Two of Swords reversed. It's going to be hard to keep this a secret, or you may be very okay. There's something about the relationship between you and your person. People will be talking about it, almost hoping like, man, I hope this is the person that, you know, gives me a grandchild, which is kind of hilarious. I'm not sure why or who that's from. It could be their parents, your parents, maybe siblings if they've been wanting nieces and nephews, because I know that's a thing, which I've seen. But I feel like you and your partner, well, first of all, you have great communication. I feel like you will know off the bat whether you want children or not, regardless of whatever your relationship status is, whether you're married, dating, committed, you know, even casual something. Like, you're gonna be okay with whatever. Not only that, but like, you may even come to an agreement that, hey, this is not gonna be for everybody. This is gonna be like for a select few. Let's say you're not in a relationship, but you both want children, and maybe you're both nearing an age where you don't want to be older than what you are to have kids. So you're like, hey, how about we have a kid? That could be something that happens, because I'm seeing, like in Parks and Rec, where Anne, where she decides that she just wants to get pregnant for no reason. Well, not for no reason. She's got reasons, but she's like, you know what? I could wait around for a man, or I could just go ahead and have a kid because I already know I want that. So she goes to the sperm bank and looks through all these people, and then she goes out of her way to like meet guys to just like have kids with. And that's how she finds, eventually that's how she finds her partner. I'm not saying that that's how you may find your partner, but I do get the feeling that people kind of already speculate. Well, one, that you're with somebody that could possibly, I don't know why this is. And it's not like they're talking about your, you know, your intimate life or anything. It's just like, people assume. So if you're already married, like let's say you just recently got married, people are like, oh, when are the grandkids coming? You know, stuff like that. So there is talk about this. That's part of the conception, is like there was already an idea and there was already like conversations, but it was you and your partner or you and anybody else. Okay. So, all right, let's get into your partner. I just because they're coming through very strongly, I don't feel like every pile will have this, but it is going to be important. So your baby daddy, baby mama for some of you. They get 2 cards. We have the Two of Wands and the, oh wow, the Knight of Cups. How is this meant to be taken? So this person really does love you. if that is important to you, I feel like that has to be said. This person will be in a relationship, a romantic something with you. If not marriage, and at the very least, it will be something that is romantic. The Two of Wands lets me know that for some of you, maybe this was meant to be something like casual, or maybe you were both just like, I do get like friends with benefits, or I do get like, again, hooking up, or even like something where you were both very much into each other. But there is love here. Like there really is. So it's not like, again, yeah, there's love here. I keep hearing that. Like, I don't know if some of you thought there wouldn't be, but that keeps coming through. And this person adores you and they adore the child, regardless of what happens in the connection. For a lot of you, you will already be married. For some of you, it could be something where, like, even if it doesn't last, like, there will always be a love for you as you know, the parent of their child. And there will always be a, yeah, there's always going to be love for this, which is really sweet. Also, they like you as a person. They like how strong and independent you are, because I'm looking at the word independence here, and even achievement. They like your fire, they like your spirit, so it makes sense to them that you would make a great mother or parent here. I don't know why I resist saying mother, because I know I try not to be too weird about pronouns, but or genders here, but I am getting that. Like, this person is very respectful of you. All right, how will you be how will you be pregnant? Like, how are you going to be as a pregnant person? Pile 1. We have the 7 of Swords. You're going to be very honest. I'll say that. Especially those of you who are prone to, like, keeping your mouth shut, or like being quiet to keep the peace, or maybe you fib to like not hurt people's feelings. You're going to be very blunt, very honest. You're going to tell everybody how you feel. You're going to be telling your doctors, like, you may be oversharing, quite honestly. Not sure why, but I do get the feeling that, like, you're going to tell people how you feel, and maybe you get a little carried away with it. Like, you may notice that you may be expressing yourself more than usual. And, like, for example, at work, you may be talking, you may be more sassy, and people let you get away with it because you're pregnant. They're like, oh, well, pile 1 didn't mean that. It's the hormones. Or, oh, did they really just say that? And they're like, oh, I'm not going to take it personally. It's the hormones. But, like, you're not going to care. You're like, whatever. You're just funny. Not going to lie. You might say some mean things, but the good news is that you get away with it. That said, it's not I mean, and I can't tell you what to do, pile 1. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to tell you to tell people everything, but it's like, you have no filter. You have no filter, and I think people find it hilarious. You may even get louder. Like, maybe for those of you who are typically more quiet, shy, reserved, introverted, that's out the window, because that big mama bear energy is coming through, and you're like, no, I am doing this for 2 people now. I am with child. I am carrying stuff. I am not going to do this. I am not going to do that. You will do this. And, like, I'm just seeing very, I heard mandona, which means bossy in Spanish. Like, I don't know why that came through, but you're going to be a little bit bossy. But I think people are going to find it funny, or they could get tired of it, I guess, depending on the person. I think your person will actually enjoy that. They're going to think it's cute. All right. So, pregnancy itself, how will that journey go? Excuse me, my gosh. If you heard that. Okay, 10 of Pentacles. It's going to go great. You may have a very good, easy pregnancy. Like I said, you're going to be very detached. You may have, like, no issues. Like, you know how people tend to have, like, sickness or heartburn or all kinds of, like, medical things? You may have a very easy one. Another way of seeing this, though, is, like, you could come into a lot of abundance. You could come into a lot of money. You may get a promotion. You may get an easier job. People may gift you things for no reason, which I've seen that. Sometimes people will, like, if they can't send baby shower gifts, they'll just send money. And maybe you put that money into something important, like, you know, some sort of financial thing, like a savings bond or the stocks. And a lot of it could go to your kid, of course, but some of it will also go to you. So a lot of abundance. Also, you're going to be very healthy. I feel like you're going to be, like, prime or peak health. For some of you, not all of you, but I am seeing that it's going to be a very easy pregnancy, to the point where you're like, you know, you kind of don't believe it. It's like, things are going too good. Why is this? Some of you could have Jupiter in Cancer, which, now that I think of it, I have that. So, and I've never been pregnant, so I don't know if that's how it would go. But that would make it very easy pregnancy because Cancer takes on motherhood very easily. Or even like Moon, Jupiter conjunct, or in positive aspect. And then how will you be after the pregnancy? How will you be after? I'm not gonna do, well, actually, yeah, I should. Why wouldn't I? Date of birth, like the birth date. How will that go? Okay, we have the sun reversed. You know when everybody's excited and happy and you're just freaking out? That's basically what it is. Like, you may tell everybody and they're all like, oh my gosh, we're excited for you. And you're freaking out. It's like, what? Okay, thank you, but can you take me to the hospital? Or, okay, thank you, but can you come get me this? Like, I feel like you're freaking out. I don't know if this is you or your partner. The opposite could also be true. So maybe you're like very chill and everybody else around you is freaking out. I guess it depends which one you're more likely to be. Are you more chill or are you more likely to freak out? You could either be, or you could be the opposite, but it's going to be a wonderful day. It could be a day that is overcast because I am seeing the sun, but it's upside down. So it could be overcast or it could be, oh, not the Wheel of Fortune. Cute. Oh yeah, I love this because it's got an astrological wheel. So a lot of you could be like, give me that birth time, give me that birth time. I need to make this child's chart ASAP. Like as soon as you can get to your phone, laptop, whatever, you're like, all right, my child's birthday, what rising sign are they? And you're like, oh great, the 28th degree of Pisces or whatever, which is actually what I have. You know, so yeah, I feel like it's gonna go fine. It's gonna be exciting and not at the same time, I'm hearing. Because I'm seeing like being bored in the hospital. Like, where's my baby? Just being bored, like I sat here through all these hours to give birth and now I can't even see my baby. Like I'm seeing that, so which is really cute. All right, and then the postpartum. We have the Hermit. You're going to find motherhood to be very, very peaceful. Because it's solitude, but at the same time not. Like, I'm getting temple energy. Like, you're just quiet at home on a beautiful, bright day. And the baby's cooing and crying. And you're just, like, at peace. Even though this baby's noisy and it requires a lot of attention, you're peaceful. You're blissed out. You're at peace with it. You're like, this feels right. This feels nice. And then you hear the baby, like, cry. And it's like, oh, time to feed them. Oh, like there's something about the routine of motherhood that like brings you peace and brings you at ease. Like you may miss those first few years of them as a newborn because that's when it was the easiest. For a lot of you, I feel like that's going to be the easiest part when they're, you know, not yet walking and you're just taking care of a little thing. And I get peaceful. Like when they're asleep, you're able to just do your thing, which is really sweet. Yeah. Also, if you're not the one coming into the abundance, your partner could be. So if you're not working, and I feel like some of you may decide not to, your partner may be making a lot of money. They could get a raise because people hear that their partner is with child. There it is, the Lovers. I do get the feeling that some of you, and I'm not trying to feed a delusion here, but if you are in a partnership with a person who really does care about you and this kid, you might end up like marrying each other soon after. Like maybe not that first year, but it's like maybe this is what maybe makes them finally want to commit. And again, I'm not feeding delusions. I'm not saying like, hey, go get pregnant and they're going to be your partner. No, I'm just saying this is how they're going to naturally want to do things. So yeah, I like this energy. It's very lovely. It's very peaceful. Well, on and off. So let's get your final cards pile. Pile 1. I wasn't sure what closing cards to use because I don't really have anything like mother or baby themed, you know. So let's use these. I am more than my struggles, which is interesting. I feel like by the time you come into this, struggling isn't something you're terrified of. And ironically, I feel like that's what makes you overcome any hardship, hurdle, or anything difficult. Because like I said, this pregnancy doesn't feel difficult, or at least it won't by the time you're able to have, once you're pregnant, like it won't feel difficult, which is interesting. And I wonder if a lot of you were worried that it would be. And I'm not saying it's not going to have its moments, like obviously in the 9 months or however long it is that you're pregnant, but I do feel like you're not going to identify with your struggles, because it's going to feel, whatever you're doing, it's going to feel very natural. Which is interesting that I said it that way. So I wonder if some of you are currently struggling and feel like you're never going to be able to do this or have this. Your partner or the person who comes along will be very impactful in this. All right, I'm going to get you a little Forest Friends card, or maybe a few. You have this owl, white owl, insight. Perceptive and intuitive, you penetrate beyond the surface, trust your instincts. A lot of you will become very intuitive in pregnancy. Everybody does, because it's part of the, it's us literally creating a cord to another living creature, the umbilical, and this is us like creating that mother's intuition, because we have to be attached in order for our instinct to pick up on their safety. But a lot of you could become more than that. Oh, look at these little ducks, these baby ducks and the mama ducks. Inquisitive duckling, curiosity. To stay curious is to keep finding new possibilities. What are you curious about? You're going to find motherhood to be very curious. And I think as a result, your child will be very curious. I did mention June. So maybe your child could be a Gemini, because I associate curiosity with Gemini. Which is really interesting. But yeah, like you could find it to be very curious. Like maybe finding out all about your baby could like be really mentally stimulating. It's like, my child really likes to eat this, or, oh, they do this, and that reminds me of, my partner and how they do that, or, they look like my grandfather or something like that. I get a lot of that. You're going to be very curious about the whole journey. And this little unicorn. Creativity, you are unique and magical. Let your creativity shine forth. So a lot of you could become very creative. Like alongside being pregnant, you could also just become very creative. You could write, draw, create. Whatever it is that you create, that you like to create, you may do that a lot. So if you like to bake, you may bake a lot and come up with new recipes. If you are a musician, you may come up with new music. Whatever the case is, you're going to be creating. Because fertility is not just us being able to conceive, it's also being able to create something for the world. So this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the ocean or pistachio calcite, then we have a reading here for you about your pregnancy. How will your pregnancy go along? So we're going to be looking into conception, partner, if there is a partner, how you will be pregnant, and how you will, how it will go, essentially. I guess I should make a warning that this is not medical advice, of course, obviously. This is for entertainment purposes. But already the energy I'm picking up on this is very, very quiet, because it is late at night. So a lot of you could have you could be in a very quiet atmosphere. You could have a lot of late nights. I also pre-shuffled for this particular pile, so you could be very prepared. So yeah, I feel like all of that kind of comes with like, having a newborn baby. But maybe even before the baby comes along in your pregnancy, you will get accustomed to this kind of energy. Because I'm trying to be loud, but at the same time trying to keep my voice low. So maybe something about noise could be important, or sound. Some of you could be sensitive to sound as well, which is interesting. Because I know some people can be sensitive to like tastes and smells, but I don't know if sound is part of the pregnancy journey, or maybe it might be just to you. Especially for those of you who are already leaning towards clairaudience or something to that nature, sensitive to sounds, like ASMR. In fact, my voice right now feels very ASMR. And if you're used to my readings, you'll know that I don't typically sound like this. But with that said, pile 2, let's go ahead and move on to your reading. We're going to start with the oracles, then we're going to get into the tarot. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, culmination and satisfaction. I'm going to get all of them out. Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. We have Motherwort, Strength. How appropriate for this reading. motherhood is going to come very naturally to you. The whole pregnancy process could come very naturally. For some of you, you could be here about a second or third. Like this might not be your first rodeo. This might not be your first child. So you could be asking about your next pregnancy, how this will be. So I guess you can compare this to a previous one. In fact, you can choose multiple piles if you felt that one of them felt like a previous pregnancy. Does that make sense? I'll restate that in the intro. Find your sacred flow. Get back to elemental. And the bud. Potential promise. It's about to happen. Keep going. And rapture. Sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. You know what's funny? I forget what Hindu goddess this, or what Hindu, I want to say it's Hindu, but there's like a idea, a word, or a goddess that is linked with the, like whenever you're birthing, like that joy you feel whenever like you're releasing, like when you're literally, you know, when you're putting out the baby, shoving it out. I forget what that's called. If anybody here remembers or knows, please tell me in the comments below. But I know there's some sort of word for that. But here it's coming through as rapture because this is kind of like, for a lot of you, you really like being pregnant, which wouldn't surprise me why this might be not your first pregnancy. But for those of you for whom it will be, you're going to find pregnancy, motherhood, and all that to be very enjoyable. It's going to feel amazing. Like you're going to feel satisfied, worthy, accomplished, almost like an overachieving pregnancy or an overachieving mother, which is kind of, I think that's adorable. I never thought to see it that way. It's like you want the perfect pregnancy, you want the perfect atmosphere, you want to be the perfect everything. There's a perfectionism coming through here. But I feel like that's how you feel at ease. Some of you could have like moon in Virgo or strong motherly Virgo placements, because this is interesting. I feel like you see motherhood as something sacred, like it's going to be very important to you. You might take a lot of time off. You might take several years off from work or whatever it is that you do in order to do this, because a Ten of Pentacles lets me know that you will be financially set or stable, like whatever it is. It's like you have had this planned for years. For some of you, you could have been planning for this for a while, or like I mentioned, it could be your second, third, fourth, and like you've already been through this. You already know what to expect, and you're actually looking forward to it. With the bud, I am seeing that there's some sort of hope around this pregnancy. I don't know if it's within the actual child itself or if it's within you, or like a hope that something comes out of this. It could even be like your hopes and dreams, or career, or something. Like you're hoping it does something, which is interesting. And I'm not here to judge it. I'm not even sure what that could be or what it would be. But I'm getting, really, really interesting energy, very sacred. Like I said, it feels soft, silent, but strong and potent and sacred. Yeah, finding your sacred flow and getting back to elemental. This pregnancy will be very grounding for you, which is really interesting. It's definitely more of an individualistic kind of energy for you, as opposed to like other piles that I've tapped into so far. Important numbers are 12, 13, 10, 10, 12, 13. So your baby could be born around that time, like between the 10th, 12th, and 13, or maybe like the expected date was the 10th, but then it is born on the 12th or 13th. 48 is an important number possibly for some of you. I don't think anyone here would be 48 one day. I mean, possibly. I don't know. The human body is amazing and can do more than we think. But yeah, there's something very sacred about this particular pregnancy. Yeah, it feels powerful. That's just how it feels, but also comfortable, like you're in your element. You could do a lot of meditation during this time as well. Or you could have very strong spirit guides with you. Like specifically like a maternity spirit guide, which is really interesting. That may end up becoming your child's spirit guide afterwards, or whatever it is. Because some spirit guides are only with us temporarily, sometimes to go through certain things, to help us go through certain things. And maybe it's just like it feels like a doula almost, which is really interesting. But yeah, bud and rapture, sacred flow, and back to elemental. Some of you could have pets that are important as well, because I'm looking at this lion and it makes me think of a dog. I've always associated lions with dogs. I know that's weird. I know they're cats, technically, but they're social like dogs. And I used to have a Pomeranian and she was very lion-like because she had like all that fur. But yeah, with that said, let's get into your tarot. So yeah, interesting energy for this one for sure. And like I said, if you've already had kids, let me know. I'm curious to see how many of you picked this pile for like your second, third, fourth pregnancy here. So let's get your cards. So the first card is going to be conception. So like I said, I didn't pick up on another person's energy here. Maybe for you, the pregnancy process is like very, think of like a hermit, like just, yeah, like a hermit phase. Or you prefer to be alone, or you prefer doing your own thing. You may have had to try really hard to conceive because I'm not getting a card. Okay, yeah, Two of Cups, respect and balance. Take this only as it resonates. This is not scientific fact. I am just reading the energy that is coming through. You have to find the right person. And or feelings of love, genuine love and affection between you and your person will help you conceive if you've been having trouble. I don't know why that needed to come through, but like I said, take that only if it resonates. But the person you will be having a child with, you will definitely love. Like there has to be love here, which is interesting because I've had similar energy come through in a previous pile. I can describe this astrologically sometimes because I do feel we are more fertile with certain people than others. Like that's what chemistry is sometimes. It's like our ability to be able to be open to another's energy, or I guess their biology. I don't know if, again, this is not scientific fact. Please only take this as like my opinion or what I channel entertainment purposes. But I feel like you may have to find somebody that you're really fertile with, that you're really happy with, that if you are not in a happy relationship, you will not get pregnant. That's just like point blank period. At least for you, pile 2. Like that's part of your journey. And I feel like that's fair. Another way of taking this, though, is like you may be in a very romantic mood with your person when you finally conceive, which, yeah, no doubt, right? Like maybe the honeymoon phase or the literal honeymoon or on a vacation or like a romantic getaway. So this may be when it happens because you feel safe, and because you feel safe, it's like your body is receiving in a receptive mode. Again, take this only as it resonates. I really hope nothing I say gets me in trouble, like, because I just feel like, I don't know. This is just my opinions. This is not fact, but this is what I'm channeling for you, pile 2. And of course, if it's not resonating and you don't believe in that, you don't have to accept it. So the next part is your partner. Six of Swords. Yeah, there's going to be travel involved. You could travel a lot with your partner. Page of Wands, interesting. For some of you, it could be a new person. If you already have like a child from a previous relationship, this could be with somebody new. Or you and your person could travel, be on vacation. Again, I'm getting literal honeymoon when you conceive. So your child may be conceived in a new place that you are not used to, or while traveling, or you could already travel a lot. I'm also getting with Page of Wands here, this connection, like your person will either feel young at heart, like I feel like they have a lot of energy, or they will be in a new space. Sorry if you heard that, but yeah. So they could be feeling very young, or very like, or maybe this could be you too. Maybe you both have this feeling of like feeling young at heart, or like there's a youthful vibe to this. Like you're both feeling, frisky, like lovesick teenagers. You're just, again, I'm getting the bubble phase. Bubble as in like the honeymoon phase between you and your partner. Yeah, and I feel like they could travel a lot. I keep getting that. Or maybe they're from somewhere different from you, or you may have to travel to see them, or vice versa. They could travel to see you. But yeah, fiery energy. It's like they're just in a mood where they're like really, really lustful towards you. Let's just put it that way, which is kind of cute. All right, so that's what I'm getting from your partner. I don't know if this is like a committed partner or like your marriage or anything. I'm just getting like, you know, for some of you it could be a casual something. All right, let's see what kind of how will you be during your pregnancy? All right, Two of Pentacles, again, balanced. You're going to feel good. And Four of Cups. And oddly enough, you're not going to be as emotional as you thought you would be. Maybe some of you thought like your hormones would take you out of whack, especially if you already are very hormonal, like in general. You're going to feel very balanced. It's going to feel right, which is really interesting. But I feel like you've prepared for this. Like you're prepared. You're good. But yeah, if you thought there was going to be any emotional stuff, even if you've already had kids before, it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be like that this time around. I feel like because you're already prepared, or because you already know what to expect. All right, let's see. The date of giving birth, the birth date. I do see your partner being there though, for those of you who thought they wouldn't, because all these cards are even numbers. 2, 6, 2, 4. We have the star. Okay, this could be during Aquarius time. But also, it's going to be such a wonderful day. Like, you're excited. They're excited. Everyone's excited. There's so much hope on this baby. I keep getting hope, like a bud, the star, the hope. It's wonderful news. Like, it's wonderful. For some of you, I don't know, maybe for some of you, you're surrogates. Not everybody, but like maybe one person who clicks this pile is. But because there's a detachment, but there's also like a joy, which is really interesting. It's really sweet. But yeah, it's a great day. Like, it's a labor of love. Let's put it that way. All right, the postpartum. How will you be after? Ooh, Two of Swords reversed. It's funny, this came out on another one. Usually this means people can't shut up. So you might be posting your baby all over the place. You may be telling everybody about it. People could be calling you. You could be sending pictures. Like, you're not going to shut up about your baby because you're going to be so proud and you're going to love them so much. And you may say, oh, they look like this person and that person, which, you know, when they're a little squishy thing, I'm not sure if you can make that out, but just no one shuts up about this, about you, about this baby. You may not shut up about it. It's adorable. I'm also getting a very youthful vibe. Okay, for some of you, you could be very young when you have this pregnancy. I guess this depends on what age you are. Hopefully you're over the age of 18 because these readings are 18 plus, just for, you know, YouTube guidelines. But regardless, youthful vibes everywhere. Like, I just get like, maybe everybody gets rejuvenated by this new baby being around. Like, maybe your great-grandparents suddenly feel the need to travel. Maybe your parents are running all over the place because they want to help you, or everybody involved is just, it's just such a happy energy, and you can't shut up about them. I don't think you want to, and you don't have to. Like, they're going to be all over your social media. I keep getting that. Or like, you're sending pictures everywhere, like everyone in the group chat, you update them like every 2 hours, which is hilarious. Even if you don't feel like you would, you're going to be so overcome with joy and pride. You're going to be that way. So I guess watch out for that. What else did I want to pick up on? I did more cards in the previous pile, but I don't remember what they are. I want to see for this one, because I can tell some of you are asking about your partner because you may not even know who they are. You might be single right now. So I want to see how your partner and families handle this. All right, partner, Queen of Cups. They love your motherly energy. They love it. And the Hermit. And they want to see you more, but you may want like time apart from them, oddly enough, which is weird. It's like you may want to do your own thing. Like, specifically, like, this is just an example. Because I'm seeing like maybe some of you are like really weird about breastfeeding. It's like, no, I want it to be private time, but your partner's like, well, can I be in the same room? And you're like, no. And it's like some weird thing like that. Or it could be like, maybe you just want like lullaby time with your baby and you don't want them to hear you sing, which is weird. That, well, I guess not weird, but I think it's interesting that you're a little shy around your partner. Or maybe you just want like certain things to be about you and your baby, which is okay, but you know, I feel like they have to respect your boundaries and your privacy. I guess it depends how close you are to them, or like whether, I don't know, there is something interesting there. Okay, let's say your family. This could also be your family. Maybe you don't want your family to be involved in everything, and that's why you have to send them pictures to keep them away. It's like, hey, you can't visit, but I promise to send you updates every day, you know, things like that. And judgment, awakening, revelation. Yeah, this pregnancy is going to change your life somehow. I'm not sure why, but it's a good thing. I guess it's up to you to decide why that is. Because it feels like there's a lot of hope here, especially when there was no hope. Maybe some of you have tried to conceive many times and it didn't happen. Yeah. And maybe this partner that you're having kids with is somebody that you're not even, maybe you don't even know them that well. Or if you do, not enough that, you know, you want to let them into your space. Like maybe you see motherhood as something to do alone. Which if you don't, this could be the universe trying to tell you, ask yourself why you feel like you have to go it alone, or why you feel the need to keep people out. But take that only if it resonates, of course. Pile 2. So that was a really interesting reading. Let me know if this resonates with you. Let's go ahead and get your final cards. I'm going to start with the Froggy Oracle. We have, it's so brave of me to exist. Yeah, it's so brave of you to go through this and to do it on your own terms in your own way. And I keep getting brave. I wonder why that is. Like brave, hope, like almost like, I don't know, maybe there's like something written in the stars about this pregnancy or about your life after. Take that as it resonates. Pile 2. We have watching the ducks, nurturing, helping things grow is so rewarding, whether it's a garden, an idea, or a tiny child. What can you nurture? That one's self-explanatory, pile 2. Yeah, maybe some of you are surrogates. We have, oh, this bear and the girl. Bear embrace, comfort. Bear hugs are the best kinds of hugs. Hug a loved one today. You can be very physically affectionate. I mean, in general, but of course with your child as well. Or even your person. Brown owl, clarity. Trust yourself to navigate the darkness and see what others cannot. You're going to have a very strong intuition about what is right for you and what is right for your child, which is really interesting. Yeah, very strong independent energy here. Pile 2, which has been very, very interesting to read. But this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the Black Moonstone, then we have your reading here for you about your pregnancy, how will your pregnancy go, as well as conception, and if your partner comes through, we can also talk about that. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the cards you chose, as well as some oracles to get an overall view. Then we're going to get into the tarot to see how that pregnancy will go. So for you, full disclosure, I had to restart this reading, so I already know what these are, because I did a sound thing. I tried a new microphone and it didn't sound well. So I was like, let me just re-record it. So I already know what these are, as well as the pre-selected oracles, just full disclosure. But that said, because I'm channeling on a different day, because I was mad about the original thing, I'm going to probably have some messages that I already know and some that are going to come through with this new perspective. So I just wanted to be very transparent about that. So we have the Emperor and the Empress, and my favorite thing about this is that you got not only 2 cards, but 2 very compatible cards, letting me know that, well, one, Empress is the mother, the ultimate mother, and Emperor is like ultimate daddy. So this is definitely going to be a pregnancy where both you and your partner, because for a lot of you, you will have a partner, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, or even just marriage, you're both going to be very involved in this pregnancy with this child, with the family that you will create. If there is no relationship involved for some of you, for the rare few of you, this could just mean that you will have an equal amount of like feminine and masculine figures in your community helping you raise this kid. And that could still be true even if you have a partner. Like maybe if your partner isn't always around, you will have like other people to fill in for them. For example, aunts, uncles, your parents, their parents, etc. So with that said, let's get the rest of your oracles. We have Calendula, purity. And there is like a little baby child here walking around. We also have Creator, fire. The Holy Grail, stop the endless searching, inner quest. And power over 7 scorpions, power to conjure lower vibrational forces. And also notice that we have the Mother Goddess Isis here and this child as well. In fact, there is something here about the both of you really placing a lot of importance, love, and care into your child. Not only that, but this is really giving like power couple vibes. So you may even have like a whole plan set out for your kid before they're even born. So you may know like what schools you want to send them to, what neighborhoods you want to live in, what children you want them to socialize with, which I know sounds weird and maybe even a little what's the word, controlling, but it's more like you just want them to have the best of everything. So you and your person, first of all, type A types for sure. The fire energy gives me like strong fiery astrological signs. So Aries, I almost said Scorpio, interestingly. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And I guess throw in Scorpio because it wants to come through. But this just means that you're going to be very passionate about the things that are allowed and not allowed in your family, because you kind of have like a set goal of a complete idea and mindset about how you want your family to progress. I feel like this will be with the first child because I could easily see this family having multiple kids, and you will probably treat each kid in accordance. Like you will treat them like they're each important, because I'm getting the energy of like, think of coaches and like coaching a team. Like you see your children as a team and you have plans and goals for each one of them. And if they want to choose something different as they get older, that could happen. But I do feel like you're going to be very involved in their lives, and you're going to put a lot of energy, emotion, and love into this for sure. You and your partner will be on the same level and have a lot of things in common when it comes to wanting to raise kids. You could both even be very mindful of like whenever you do try to conceive, like maybe you will both start working out, or maybe you will both stop eating junk food, or stop any substances that you may try. And of course, this is not medical advice at all. This is just for entertainment purposes. But I have read in certain articles that certain substances may not be great for when it's time to conceive. And maybe you and your partner will be like, well, let's stop eating that, and let's stop drinking as much, and let's stop, whatever habits that you do that are not conducive to creating even the right conceiving environment, which is really interesting. I like this. Like you and your partner are very involved. Like I said, ultimate mommy daddy energy, regardless of your genders, of course. It doesn't even have to be a heteronormative relationship. This would just mean that you both are very equally involved in the kind of life that you want your kids to have, which I actually do see a lot with LGBTQ couples. Like I think more so with them than the heteronormative couples, just from the few that I've known and seen. So yeah, I do feel like this child is going to be so much fun for the both of you, even if your idea of fun is like being very involved with like their after school activities, or maybe you're part of the PTA, or I don't know. I just feel like you really enjoy parenthood and you both want to be a part of it. Not only that, but with Holy Grail, I feel like it's going to bring out a different side to your relationship. Like maybe you're going to find it very attractive how your partner cares for your kid, and maybe that's what leads to more kids, almost like a vicious, well, not a vicious cycle, but it's like it could go on forever, that at some point one of the both of you may be like, okay, we need to stop here, but I feel like it's very cute. The number 1 could be important, 3 and 4. So you may have between 1 and 4 children. Also, 1 makes me think of like new beginnings. So this is more likely to be your first pregnancy, because I know some of you may not be pregnant now. Some of you may not even have a partner now. And this is just letting you know that, yeah, you will have a partner, an ideal partner for having these kids. Somebody who's very involved. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot itself. And this is where I am live shuffling. So as mentioned, this could be different, or maybe some of it could be the same. The amount of times it remains the same is kind of, I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise me because I am tapping into higher source here. So the messages should remain similar, but sometimes new things want to come through. So pile three. The first card is going to be conception. So how do you conceive? How do you know that you are pregnant? We have the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. Okay, this is an astrological chart. Maybe some of you are so picky that you decide to have kids during a certain time of the year. It's like, well, I want a Pisces baby, so let's try to conceive this time. Or if that's not the case, it could even be like, maybe you both know that you're going to be busy during a certain year or during a certain time, so you both decide to conceive, let's say a particular year. It's like, well, next year we're going to be doing this, so let's go ahead and have our kid this year, and vice versa. So that said, even with your plans in mind, even with, you know, whatever you have going on, the Wheel of Fortune does speak about events that we can't necessarily help. So this is like divine timing, divine intervention, divine guidance. You will have your kid when you need them. So you can throw it out into the universe. Hey, I would like to have kids during this time. The universe will respond however is most appropriate for your bigger picture timeline. So I feel like, yes, you have some control, but even if you don't have some amount of control, you're okay with that as well. The Wheel of Fortune also makes me think of like movement, forward movement. Like this will definitely be a catalyst for other things to happen in your life. So maybe having children will bring opportunities to you that otherwise having children wouldn't. Not saying that if you don't have kids, they won't come around, but it could definitely, I mean, it will definitely change that around. I feel like it does for everybody. But for you specifically, pile 3, it could open new doors for you and your partner. But yeah, I definitely see you doing their chart. I mean, anybody who's into tarot like this or astrology would probably want to like get that time. It's like, what time were they born? Let me get their ascendant. Because I know my friends have, and I thought it was adorable and hilarious. And they would message me literally like the day after. It's like, Stephanie, here's the details. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's their moon sign. That's their rising. Oh, they got the same placement as you. Which, I think it's cute. Okay, so your partner. I want to know more about your partner because they do seem very involved. For pile 3, we have the 5 of Swords. Interesting. Resentment, competition. I'm going to get a clarifier. The Emperor. Your partner is going to want to show off this baby, especially if they know that your exes still follow you. They're like, oh, okay, I know this sounds like douchey behavior, so take it only if it resonates. But low-key, they kind of want to show up. They're very proud of their baby. They're very proud of the child that they have with you. They're going to want to tell everybody about it. They may even get a little bit competitive, like, oh, my kid's better than yours because look, they were already born with hair. Yours was born bald. I'm kidding, stuff like that. So little petty things. But at the end of the day, I feel like they're still happy about it. Like, I just see like a little bit of competitiveness coming through. I know this says 5 of Swords, but I'm also getting like 5 of Wands energy. Resentment and competition also makes me wonder if like their family is trying to be involved. Like, because I'm getting the sense, how do I describe this? It's weird. Maybe somebody told them that they would never be able to have kids, or maybe somebody, I don't know. It's almost like there's like a revenge quote quote factor to them having kids with you, which I know is weird, but maybe they've always wanted this. It's almost like, I'm not sure. Another way of seeing this is that maybe the timing for them isn't ideal, but it's like, well, there was never going to be a perfect time to have kids, so might as well have them. Oh, for some of you, if this was unplanned, which I find it hard to believe that it would be unplanned because you both come off as people who would. But if it was unplanned, it's almost like, oh, well, I really wanted to have them during this time, but it's okay. I still want them. It's great that we have them during this time. Don't see it as disappointment from your person, but I do feel like they will have like a mixed feelings or mixed mentality about having kids. But regardless, they're still going to show up for you. They're still going to show up for the family and everything, because at the end of the day, they also wanted to be a parent. So don't take their their ideas, mentalities, or even the things they say as a form of them as a way of them saying that, oh, I didn't want this. They did, they do, they will. It's just, I feel like they have certain ideas that maybe they have to work through, or that they will work through as parents. All right, let's get you. How will pregnancy change you? Yeah, in fact, it's interesting that we have resentment and competition, but it turns into wisdom and passion. Like they turn all that negativity into something positive. This could even be with your help. For you, we have judgment, revelation, and awakening. It's going to impact you big time. I mean, especially if this is your first pregnancy, which for a lot of you it will be. But I'm getting the feeling that it's just going to change you drastically. It's going to change your mindset, your outlook on life, the way you move, literally and figuratively, and even the way you approach certain things. Like it's like you see everything through the lens of motherhood now, through the lens of parenthood, of whether something will be good for you and your children or not. Yeah, especially as a family unit. Maybe for some of you, you weren't big on having a large family until you have your first. And then it's like, you know what, maybe I do want more than one. It's like, you know what, maybe I want more than two, things like that. But take that only if it resonates, because judgment is kind of like changes that even you cannot foresee, changes that will alter your life. I mean, for the better, yes. Yeah, mostly for the better. I'm not really seeing anything negative, but it's more like things that you wouldn't expect yourself to want is what's coming through. Which I think that's both a good and a bad thing. Maybe there were certain ideals that you had that maybe weren't really adding to your life, like they were not making your life better. And that's not to say that all your ideals right now are, not conducive to your growth. It's more like just specific ones. All right, delivery date, birth date. How are you going to be when the water breaks? We have the Ace of Wands, ambition and willpower. This pregnancy is going to give you a lot of energy. It's going to give you a lot of energy. So if some of you are listening to this and you're like, nah, that's not me, I'm not type A, don't be surprised if that changes either by the time you meet your person or by the time you become pregnant. Like it might even light a fire under you. Surprisingly, well, I guess unsurprisingly, this card shows a crystal, and I'm thinking of how much energy a crystal has. That's why I channel with them and make sure to cleanse out their energy, because they hold on to a lot of energy. You're going to be very inspired, motivated, and you're going to have a lot of energy. You may have a very easy pregnancy. Like how some people they're in labor for hours, maybe even days. I feel like yours is going to be quick and maybe not painless. I'm not going to say painless, but definitely it's going to be faster over than you believe. Another way of seeing this would be like maybe you don't even make it to the hospital. Maybe you end up having it at home, like, you don't make it in time, or in a car, which I think is always hilarious. Well, maybe not hilarious, but it's funny from, an outside perspective. It's not funny because I'm sure there's like a lot of health risks there, but I'm kind of getting that energy. So yeah, and like I said, it's going to give you a lot of energy. Some of you, this could happen during a full moon, or when like the planets are in a very positive aspect for your energy. For example, right now, I have a lot of Pisces in my chart, and Mars is in Pisces. So every day I'm like full of energy, which is a problem because I recently moved into somewhere where I don't need a lot of energy. So I'm literally looking for things to do. And maybe motherhood will do this for you. Like maybe you will have more than enough energy to take care of your kid and yourself and the household, which doesn't happen to everybody, but for you, Pile 3, I feel like that would be the case. All right, and how will this change? How will raising the little one go? For some of you, this child could be born during a fire season, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So maybe if you wanted a Pisces, you end up with an Aries. Or maybe you wanted a Cancer, but you end up with a Leo. But I feel like they'll still have those placements. Like maybe they'll have, Venus and Mercury in Cancer, but they're a Leo. Stuff like that. We have Temperance. This came out reversed. Is it meant to be reversed? Yeah. And this one I remember coming through in the original reading. I'm going to say the same thing. I feel like a lot of a lot of internal things that you didn't realize needed healing will come through as you raise your child. So especially the relationship you may have had with your parents, with your siblings, with certain events and aspects of your own childhood are going to come through in this when you have this child. And I feel like, let's say you didn't realize you have a habit of treating or viewing children a certain way until you have your own kid. You may ask yourself, and maybe even stop yourself, you're gonna be like, oh wow, why did I say that? Or why am I feeling this way? Or, you know, things like that. And then you'll tie it back to your childhood, and that becomes something that you heal through this on your own. Of course, you don't take it out on your kids. It might happen like the one time and never again, because children are meant to heal us. And I feel like a lot of people don't, unfortunately. I do see a lot of crappy parenting, but I also see a lot of good parenting. And you can tell that they care, because at some point, their own families, their own parents didn't care or didn't give them those tools that were necessary. So I definitely see a lot of that, which is really interesting. I do want to get a card for family. Your family and your partner's family. So your own family. We have the Seven of Cups. What's interesting is I feel like every certain person in your family will have a different relationship with your children. So maybe you're really close to your siblings and they're very involved, but maybe you're not close to your parents and they're not involved, or vice versa. Or maybe your friends become like your siblings and they're like honorary aunts and uncles, things like that. And then for your partner's family, because you have no shortage of people who are going to help you look after this kid. I feel like you have free babysitting for life, or inexpensive babysitting, or babysitting that, you know, you just know the people. Your partner has Three of Wands. I feel like your partner's family is a little bit more meddling. And I was picking up on that over here with the Five of Swords, which is really interesting. Like, they may be meddling in a way that they don't deserve, or in a way that makes you uncomfortable. And I do feel like your partner will make it a point to be like that barrier between this. Or that could be something that they work through. Your partner may develop a lot of boundaries with their family through this, or even their friends. But I feel like it's more their own family, which is interesting. So take that as it resonates. Back of the deck, we have Metamorphosis. Yeah, which is the Death card in this pile. So it's definitely going to change the both of you. It's going to transform you. You're going to metamorphosize into different people, but in a positive way. So with that said, let's go ahead and get your final cards, pile 3. And if you like readings like this, let me know. I don't mind doing more like pregnancy or children or family readings. I just know that more people tend to gravitate towards partner readings, because a lot of people don't have their partner yet. By chance, let me know if you have a partner or not yet that you are trying to conceive with, because I feel like this pile would. We have, I am capable of more than I realize. Yeah, this pregnancy will unlock a lot of, like I said, energy that you didn't know you had, and a lot of ambition that you didn't know you had, which I do see. I see people get pregnant and suddenly they're starting businesses, going after higher paying jobs. Like, it fills them with purpose. And I feel like seeing your child is going to make you want to do more. And knowing that you have a very supportive partner, because I do feel for a lot of you, your partner will also change through this. And you're going to want to do more because of this. A lot of you could also continue doing weightlifting when you're pregnant, but take that only if it resonates, and I don't even know if that's safe or not. But you may do like light weightlifting, you know, to keep yourself healthy and exercised. I feel like some of you will want to exercise just, again, to keep yourself healthy. I remember in high school I had a PE teacher, a gym teacher, physical exercise teacher who was pregnant, and she was just active all the time, and she would walk everywhere because it's already her job to be that way. But it would be lighter, you know, which I always thought was interesting, because I'd never seen like a very active pregnant woman until then, you know, in my teens. I always saw pregnant women as more, you know, resting, laid back, just chilling. But no, she was the opposite, and I always thought that was cool. We have these little, are these wolves? Coyote, yeah, wolves. Leadership. If you know where you're going, don't be surprised if others follow. Yeah, a lot of you may step into like very, I mentioned ambitious, but like a leadership position during this time, or like parenthood may bring out a very leader-like quality within you, especially if you have multiple kids, because you do have to be a strong leader in order to wrangle up all those kids. Oh, we have this sweet little doggy. Oh, we have white dog, inner peace. Find your peace in chaos. Always remember that peace comes from within. Yeah, so even if you do have like a huge noisy family, which by the way, when I originally did this pile, there were a lot of kids playing outside and they were being noisy and yelling, which I guess I'm kind of happy that I redid this because you won't have that in the background. But I feel like a lot of you may end up in families like that, but you learn to have your inner peace even in the chaos. Even when you have like 3 toddlers yelling that they want to watch Bluey, you're just like finding your own inner peace with your cup of tea or coffee or whatever. And then this one popped out, so I'm taking it. White hair, awareness. Are you attuned to your environment? How can you be more aware of the world around you? So yeah, I feel like you're going to be very aware of like the environments you are in, the environments you put your family and your children in, or even just your child. And you may want to be in places that are better for them. I guess depending where you live right now. Like maybe you know right now that where you live is not great for raising kids, but you want to move somewhere that is. And what that means will be different for everybody, of course, but this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the clear quartz tower, then we have your reading here for you about your pregnancy. How will your pregnancy go? What your partner, if they come through in the reading, will be, and anything else involving your pregnancy. So we're going to start with the oracles, which have been pre-selected, as well as the cards that are laid out for you. I do have a song coming through in this one, which is weird because I didn't really get a song in any of the previous piles. I have Daughtry's, what is it called? But it feels like tonight. I think it's just called Tonight, because there's nothing that I want to do than try to make it up to you, which is really interesting. I don't know if that song is of any importance to anybody, or if the message in the song could be applicable to, I guess, you or anybody involved in this, which is interesting. But let's go ahead and get your cards. You actually got 3, I think, of these cards. Yeah, 3. And okay, so we have Spirit of Rings. This is the Knight of Pentacles, productivity and endurance. We have the Magician, synchronicity and manifestation. And the Ace of Pentacles, recognition and success. Wow. Okay. Some of you may have been trying to manifest this for some time, especially if you know you've been wanting to have children. You could also be manifesting all the things that come along with having a child. So it's not just, you know, being pregnant. It could also be like bringing forth a family or bringing forth like some sort of abundance. Take that only if it resonates and if it makes sense for you. Another way this could be seen is that there's something very long lasting about the energy that you cultivate while being pregnant, and maybe even before and a little bit after. So that's interesting. Lots of earth energy, specifically Virgo, because the Magician is Mercury energy. So Virgo is the Mercury ruled earth sign, but also Taurus and Capricorn, which is really interesting. I wonder if you will have like a family where everybody is like the same, either the same sign or the same, what's it called? The same element of the sign. So like maybe you have a family full of Tauruses or Capricorns and Virgos, or all 3 of those, you know, which I think is cute. And that does happen in families a lot, actually. Whenever I ask for people's birthdays, they'll be like, yeah, everybody was born in the same month and the same week. And I'm like, that must be interesting for your family. So you will definitely have something like that. Maybe if you already have kids, that could even be the case. Like maybe you and your kid are the same element. But regardless, let's go ahead and get into your cards. We have Nourish the Sacred Feminine, number 18. We have Come to Me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. I feel like it goes without saying already that you will be in your most abundant era when you are pregnant. Not just abundant as in fertile enough to make babies, but you may be coming into a lot of money, into a lot of opportunities, a lot of attraction even. I feel like you're going to be like very, very attractive during this time. Hence maybe why you even get pregnant to begin with. Like I feel like, I guess depending on whether you're in a relationship or not will determine this, but I feel like your partner is going to find you extra attractive. So you know you're having physical intimacy more, or the people that are dating you at this time want to, like, you know, that's kind of their fantasy, is to get you pregnant. So we have number 30, Echinacea, Destiny. Number 45, Mandrake. Yeah, there's like a lot of sensual imagery here. In fact, I'm going to block this. I don't know if it's noticeable. And same thing with this Mandrake, which is a very sexy looking Mandrake. Let me just say that. Yeah, we have sensuality. Again, driving the point home that you're going to be very, very sensually, physically attractive during this time, even during your pregnancy, especially if like your body becomes a lot more curvaceous and full. I feel like you're going to be a very hot looking mama here. Or if you're watching for a partner, they could be a very, very attractive person. Like you could find them just very, you know, the boobs get bigger, the hips get wider. It's all very attractive. And then we have Spirit of Isis, Triumph of the Goddess. Okay, these two cards and then these. You come into peak feminine energy, regardless of whether you typically identify with it or not. Because Destiny and Triumph of the Goddess, I feel like there is some sort of soul's calling to this. Like, okay, this is cute. I'm seeing like a spirit baby scheming to have you as their mom or their parent. And they're like, okay, this one. Now, we're going to work with the universe to make them look hot so that we can find our dad. Or make them look hot so that our dad wants to, you know, have something with them. And it's kind of cute, but take that only if it resonates. I see that on like a very, very cute, mischievous, higher perspective, which I've never heard of that. Like maybe I'll do a reading on spirit babies. Let me know if you want to hear about that. I did do one a few years ago, but it had mixed results. So let me know. But you're going to be in a very sensual time, very sensual, very abundant, very attractive. Everything's going to feel amazing. And I feel like this pregnancy is going to bring out really like a very feminine and passionate side to you. And by passionate, of course, I mean like 18 plus. So like you and your partner may be very active even after you get pregnant, or maybe after you deliver and, you know, you want to have more. So yeah, I feel like some of you could already be in this energy. Like maybe people have told you that, you know, you would make a very great mom, or you may have had partners that are like, you know, they have told you that they would like to get you pregnant or whatever. Take that as it resonates. Definitely peak MILF energy for sure is coming through. I don't know how else to say it, especially because we have numbers 30 and 45. Some of you may be older when you finally have your first kid. So between the ages of 30 and 45, I don't know. I know it's different for everybody, but I know like we stop being fertile somewhere in our mid to late 40s to our 50s. And this will depend, of course, on you because everybody's different. And also, you may want to ask your own mother, like if you can, like when they became less fertile, but you may end up being like an older parent. And I think that just adds to the sensuality because the older we are, the more confident we are in our skin, in our bodies, and in our abilities to handle life in general. And like I said, your partners will find you very, very attractive. Dates coming through, we have the 1st, we have 18 and 30. So those could be dates of any month, or January could be an important month, January 18th or January 30th, which are Capricorn and Aquarius, respectively. 45, like I mentioned, could be an age. And I know people who have them very late. I've known women who have had kids, I think, is like pretty close to their 50s. But take that only if it resonates. That I know that doesn't sound appealing to everybody. But just know that if you do have kids later in life, you will still be very, very attractive. Like, I keep hearing hot mama. I keep hearing MILF. Like, I keep hearing that for this pile. Maybe a lot of you already look younger than you are, so it wouldn't surprise me if that carries into your middle age, per se. But regardless, there is something very long-lasting about this. This is going to be very positive for you, especially for your feminine side, pile 4. So if you were wondering if pregnancy was going to make you, you know, look like an old, what's the word, dowdy, an old mousy kind of mom? No, quite the opposite. You're going to be a very hot mom. I think some of you just needed to hear that. I know that's not important when you're having kids, but just in case some of you have insecurities, you know, that is coming through. But like I said, you manifest this. So very interesting energy to begin with. Let's go ahead and get into the tarot though. I'm very excited for this energy. Also, there's a lot of excitement around you because I'm trying to think of like, I know there's celebrities out there who had kids much later. Like I think Rihanna, who's only 2 years older than me. She had kids later in life, but she was very proud of them. Not only that, but she, to me at least, I felt like she looked even more glowy and prettier than she already was. So I'm getting similar energy to that. Or who else? I don't know why I'm thinking of Salma Hayek. First of all, I love Salma Hayek because she's Mexican and she's just a very sensual person. But I know she had her daughter much later in life as well because she married late or later in life. So yeah, I'm kind of getting that kind of energy. So pile 4. The first card is going to be conception, which I'm interested in because I wasn't picking up on a partner for this one. Not saying that you won't have one, but there were previous piles that did have like a very strong partner come through. We have 2 of Wands, independence, and achievement. So you will conceive around a time in your life when you're going after your dreams, when you're very independent. I'm not saying you won't have a partner, but you may be in a place where maybe you're not even focused on romance. Or if you do have a partner, you're not really dedicating all your time to them. So you're kind of doing your own thing. And I feel like your partner may be on the same level, like maybe they're also doing their own thing. But I'm also seeing for some of you, you could even not be in a relationship. You could be having a casual something with somebody. Because look how these 2 crystals are like, one's here and one's there. Maybe you have a long distance partnership or something like that. And like maybe you have to tell them, you know, in the next call, it's like, hey, we need to talk about something. Or I also see this with, for example, in the military, like maybe somebody's partner is away for the military and, you know, that's when they find out. Take that only as it resonates. But I do feel like you're kind of focusing on you. You're doing your own thing, being very much in, if not single energy, then independent, despite being in a relationship kind of energy. That's what I'm getting. I don't feel like you even see this coming. Like, you know, it's a possibility, like you prepare for it, but you don't. For some of you, you may even be, and of course, let me just say, this is not medical advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You may be using contraception devices, but it fails and you end up having a kid anyway. Because, like I said, when you're fertile, you're fertile. When you're fertile, you're fertile. Okay, pile 4, your partner. Let's see who your partner is. It could also be that some of you don't have a partner. Maybe you decide to do IVF or something like that. We have the Hermit. Yeah, your person isn't around at the time. Contemplation and soul searching. Again, Virgo energy is coming through. Maybe they're a Virgo. But I'm getting that they could be either away doing their own thing on a retreat. But like you're both, I'll be honest, I don't know if you're together or not. Some of you could be, but you maintain you maintain healthy distance from each other. Like you both do your own thing. Or they could just be, maybe they weren't looking for anything either. And this kind of brings you together. I'm going to get a clarifier for this. Because like I mentioned, there were previous piles that definitely had marriage energy. This one, I feel like you could take it or leave it. Maybe this is how you feel about marriage now. Also, another way of reading this could mean that your person may be doing a lot of internal work when you finally have children with them. Like maybe they're healing, maybe they're focusing on themselves as well. Yeah, King of Swords, not surprised, because I was getting very air-like energy. Articulate and intelligent. Letting me know that they're going to think about this a lot. They're going to put a lot of thought into this. So I do feel they will be around. It's almost like maybe if you were in a casual thing, you find out you're pregnant and then they kind of step up to help you out with this and become a part of this, which is really sweet when I think about it. It's giving strong Libra energy, but also Aquarius, because I did mention that in the oracles. But for a lot of you, oh yeah, and Gemini as well. But mostly Libra and Aquarius is coming through. Your person is going to be very, very logical, very thoughtful. Like they plan everything. I feel like they're going to offer a lot of support. A lot of their support could be more verbal or mental than anything. Like maybe you're okay handling everything on your own when it comes to physically. But when it comes to everything else, you just need like, you know, words of advice. You just need communication. I feel like they offer this to you, especially if they can't be with you at the time. Because I keep getting like a separation, like you're not together physically at the time, but maybe they eventually will be, or they will be there once, you know, you're close to delivering the baby. So that's what I'm getting. Another way of seeing this could be like a surrogate for some of you. Like maybe you have a friend who kind of steps in to be a father-like figure, which I've read about before. But Take that if it resonates. Regardless, I do feel like your person will be very attentive to your needs, because Hermit gives me attention to detail, as does the King of Swords. It's like making really great plans for you. So they may take care of like your doctor's visits, etc. And you may just focus on yourself. Like they plan the doctor's visits, they drive you to them, they go with you. All right, how will pregnancy change you? All right, we have the Page of Swords and Seven of Pentacles. This is going to be... Okay, for some of you, I am getting... If you are like a younger mother here, or if this is like your first pregnancy, I do get the feeling that this is going to bring about a new perspective. Like you start seeing things differently. You're also very curious about a lot of things. Like maybe you read up a lot on pregnancies and how they can work and be handled, or like about your changing body. You actually become very logical and very hardworking. Like you may work extra hours, or you may take up another job. The only problem is that, geez, even tapping into that energy, I got a little like anxious. So do be careful about that energy, because I feel like you are going to be advised to rest more than anything. I think this is where your partner comes in. It's like, hey, how about we take a step down and do less work, and I will take care of the finances for you. Or yeah, because I feel like it's a little bit of a humbling energy. Like this is going to teach you how to relax and step back and allow things to work out for you, as opposed to you constantly having to work towards things. You allow things to come to you. Definitely, like I said, stepping into feminine energy, because a lot of you, you're not used to it. So this is going to like force you into feminine energy. Your partner may even have to like convince you to be in feminine energy, because I keep hearing them tell you things like, hey, you don't need to work as much, or hey, let's step back into a part-time role, or let's allow other people to do that work for you. I keep getting that, which is very sweet. All right, delivery. And birth date of your baby. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Of course, this came out in a different pile as well. This would be my group of people who, as soon as the baby's born, you want to do the birth chart. You want that time. You want that. You want the date. You want everything. It's like, okay, what is my baby's rising sign? And stuff like that. Another way of seeing this is that the Wheel of Fortune, you may end up having like a surprise delivery. So you may not deliver the way you thought you would. So maybe you go into labor sooner than expected, or maybe later than expected. But for a lot of you, it's going to be sooner. So maybe you're at a routine doctor's visit, and the doctor's like, actually, you're what's the word? You're crowning now. We can start delivering this afternoon if you have time. And you're over here like, what do you mean if I have time? You know, maybe you weren't due for another 2 weeks. Another way of seeing this is that divine timing will be at play. So don't worry. Again, this is not medical advice, but don't worry so much about the due date. Know that this baby will come when it's ready to come. Because I swear I've had this. I've had friends who are like, oh, they were expected to be born this day, which would make them a Gemini, but they were born this day, which then they became Cancer. So, you know, stuff like that. Or like, yeah, they were expected to be born on this day, which is my father's birthday, but they were born a week later. Stuff like that. Just don't worry so much about the timing of when they're born, especially those of you who are super into astrology. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm saying this as somebody who's super into astrology as well. But regardless, I do feel like it's unexpected, a delivery. It might be sooner or later. Maybe it's probably not going to be when you thought it would be, but it's going to be okay. Yeah, which I actually have been getting for a lot of the the readings here. Everybody's sense of timing is off. But it's not the time it is, right? It's just whenever the baby's ready is when they'll come out. All right, and post-pregnancy, postpartum. I will get more cards for your partner though, just because I'm curious as to how they are. They are involved, because I keep hearing like them talk to you, their messages, like they're involved. It's just, I don't think it's going to be hands-on, or at least the majority of it will, most of their support will be more verbal. We have the Dawn of Wands. This is sweet. You get very inspired being a mother. You get very inspired. Oh, wow. And the Fool reversed. Yeah, you get very inspired being a parent. Not only that, but your child may be a little fire sign. Maybe they have a lot of energy. Maybe they're very, very charismatic, very cute. Underneath that, we had the Fool reversed. I didn't think there were two cards here. For some of you, not all of you, there might be twins. Like maybe you have two, you know, when you're looking at the ultrasound and at first it's just one, but then suddenly there's two. It's like, oh, okay. I'm getting a little bit of that. So just take that if it resonates and if you know that would happen to you. But the Fool reverse lets me know that it's not going to feel unnatural and you're not going to feel out of place being a mother. You may even get like past life memories of being a nurturing mother, and maybe those come through to you here. Because I feel like it comes very naturally. And you may have not expected it to, because maybe for a long time you didn't even want to be a mother for some of you. But it comes very naturally. So yeah. And I'm getting teary-eyed even thinking about that, which is really interesting. Because maybe the mother instinct only hits once you're holding them and they're being their cute little baby self, and it's like, oh my gosh. I'm getting teary-eyed about that, which is sweet. Let's see about this partner. I already mentioned air energy, but also Virgo, which is like an honorary air sign. What's their role? Ooh, Knight of Pentacles again, and ooh, Strength. Interesting. They come through. They're very steadfast. They might be like very low key, like maybe they're very introverted, or just like where you might be more outgoing or where you might have a lot more energy. I feel like they're just very supportive. They're also Spirit of Pentacles. Like they provide. Like they're a very strong presence, but they're not like, how do I say it? It's like they're a background character that if they weren't there, things would be just so different. That's what I'm getting. And I'm getting like a very introverted air, maybe air, earth cusp sign, or earth sign as well, which is really interesting, which I've been described this way as well. Because you don't, like, I'm very quiet, but when I'm not around, people notice. I'm kind of getting that for your person. I guess that's why their energy is coming through like that here as well. But they overcome this and they become very strong in this entire journey for you and for your children. We also have Chariot. You might end up moving either soon after or during the pregnancy as well. You might end up moving somewhere or moving in with your partner even. Yeah, Three of Swords and the Tower. You might end up losing something while you're pregnant as well. Maybe a home, maybe a job. I don't think it would be a job though, just because there are laws in place, but you never know. Maybe somebody important in your life. But take that only if it resonates, and take that only if you know that would happen around this time. But they have very interesting journey. Also, out of all of them, the least chaotic of the energies as well, surprisingly, or I guess unsurprisingly. Because earth energy is like that. Even when earth energy is chaotic, it doesn't feel chaotic. It's very grounding. So let's get your final words of advice here, pile 4. So pile 4. And thank you so much for tuning into this reading. If you're more interested in readings like this about like pregnancy, kids, family, let me know. We have, I give myself permission to be the person I want to be. Yes. I feel like you will do things on your own terms and in your own way. Like I mentioned, I feel like you become a very attractive person right before and during pregnancy. And maybe our culture likes to think, oh no, motherly energy, you have to be, you know, very prudent and pure and chaste or whatever. But you're like, nah, I'm going to be, you know, whatever I want to be. I can be a cool mom. I can be a hot mom. I can be whatever. Whatever that means, you know, maybe you're like a very tatted up kind of girly and that's how you want to be as a mom. I feel like you just really don't care for society's ideas, views, or standards of what motherhood is, or even parenthood. Like maybe you raise your kids to be very independent thinkers or to be very much themselves as well, which I think is a good thing. All right, let's go ahead and you will give your children the permission to be the person they want to be as well. All right, let's get your cards. Okay, we have, oh my God, this is beautiful. It's a white stag. Believe in yourself and be your own guiding light. Trust you know the way. You're going to become very naturally intuitive in pregnancy. Like you will just know what to do for your body, for yourself, and for your peace of mind. That said, when you don't, I feel like you will have, you know, people coming through to give you the advice you needed to hear at that time, which has happened to me for sure. Like, I've definitely been in moments where like I just needed to hear something from someone, and it becomes very I know that spirit talking through them to me, you know. And I feel like your partner could definitely be this way, but also people around you could be this way. Maybe the nurses and staff that, you know, help you may say messages that you know you needed to hear at the time, even if you don't know them. We have this little bird, blackbird, discovery. Look at your world with fresh eyes. Notice and enjoy the little things. Yeah, it's going to bring a new perspective to you for sure. Motherhood will bring new perspectives. I'm also getting the song Blackbird by, I think it was the Beatles. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. I forget what that song is about. I wonder if it's about children somehow. I think it was about, it's about kids, something about kids in school. I forget. Let me know if you remember. I think it was like a civil rights type of song as well. So in the US. So let me know if that's of importance. Maybe for a lot of you, your children will make you want to fight for their rights if there are any rights taken away from them, or maybe fight for their education. Or this could make you want to care very deeply, not just about your own kids, but about kids everywhere as well, which is interesting. And then we have this sweet little seal or selkie, mystical transformation. Get in tune with the rhythms of the ocean and ride the wave of metamorphosis. Yeah, you're definitely shifting here. Like, whatever you thought you wouldn't be, I feel like you will be. Or like the parent you become is going to be something very different. I'm also getting very mischievous energy from your kid. Like, your kid is going to be hilarious because maybe they like to pretend that they're like a little fairy or a little unicorn or something. And you're just going to think it's cute because you know that that's a side of you that they took on. Like, maybe they pretend that they're, I don't know, a little magical being, and you're like, yep, that's me, that's my kid. They're pretending to be a little turtle. That's me, that's my child. So yeah, it's your kid is going to be adorable. I just keep getting that pile 4. But this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Such positive and bright energy in this one for sure. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the selenite palm stone, then we have a reading here for you about how your pregnancy will go. We're going to be looking into the oracles for an overall view of your pregnancy. Then we're going to get into the tarot, where we're going to ask specifically things about conception, your partner, how it will change you, etc. So let me go ahead and start this off by saying that, of course, none of this is professional medical advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. I thought that would go without saying, but I just feel like the need to say that. So let's start with the card you chose. We have the 7 of Pentacles, investment and diligence. We also have Creator, fire. We have Rue, protection. We have We Are Nature, becoming grounded, embodiment, living in connection. And Mother of Life, nourishment of the golden grain mother. There's a lot about nature coming through here, almost like tending to a garden, or something about growing crops, gardening, plants. I'm not sure what that has to do with. It's interesting. I'm gonna look up what Rue means, because this is a deck of herbs and plants. But there's an interesting connection here to like feeding your body something amazing, or like treating your body like a temple, like a garden, something that is meant to flourish and grow. You could even be viewing your life this way whenever you are ready to become pregnant. Of course, there's also the concept of fertility here, not just in you being fertile, but like the earth being fertile. So maybe you could tend to yourself the way you would a garden. Like, maybe you're eating all the proper foods, getting plenty of water, air, exercise, sunshine. I mean, we don't exercise plants, but I could imagine if we had to, we would. But there's something about nurturing for sure. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Nurturing, especially with Mother of Life, nourishment of the golden grain mother. For some of you, this could be a very fruitful time in your life as well. You could be calling in like all your abundance at the same time. So this would be like, maybe you start, for example, if you have investments elsewhere. You could start cashing in from those investments. Maybe you decide to sell off some assets or something like that, and you call in your money, or people could be giving you money, but I feel like this is more whatever you have built up for yourself, especially those of you who are waiting for pregnancy later in life, like maybe in your 30s or whatnot. You decide to, I mean, I guess you can retire early. I'm not sure if people retire in their 30s. I'm sure it's not unheard of, but maybe if you have that possibility, you can. But this feels very, very calm. Like whatever this energy is, it's very calm, almost like an older person. Like I'm thinking of the elderly, like who love to be in their garden. This is how it feels like. This might be how you feel like your old soul self is just going to want to chill, relax, and tend to your daily life, to your own body, to the needs of your family, if you have a family, which is really interesting. But like I said, I'm going to read from the book for Ru. I'm also getting a lot of nature here. Some of you could decide to live out in a more nature-like environment, maybe closer to the wilderness or closer to the woods, the mountains, maybe the beach for some of you. I do feel like you're going to be tending to the part of you that has been yearning for a more natural way of living. Maybe you decide to get rid of all kinds of like maybe you decide to phase out things like chemicals in your cleaning products or beauty products, and you decide to take a more natural approach. I could easily see that as well. Yeah, let me read from the book. Ru is known as the herb of grace or the blessed herb. In Spanish, it is known as ruda, and in Greek it is ruo, which means to set free. Ru is considered a powerful and protective plant with a long, detailed historical use in both medicine and ceremonial rituals. Relief physicians consider it a remedy against plagues and pestilence and poison. I do get the feeling here, pile 5, that you're going to be very protected, which would explain why you feel very at ease. It's almost like you understand that there is a divine force around you of protection. So you may be like in a very calm mood throughout your whole pregnancy, or for the majority of it, which is really, it's really soft. It's very kind. I love this. I do see you becoming more grounded as well. Like, especially if you're somebody who's not very grounded, I feel like motherhood will be very grounding to you. I also see a more individual kind of energy coming through here, because the piles have been, I'll be honest, the piles have been either a mix of like very independent energy and like definitely a couple is involved kind of energy, like there's a partner in there. And it's not to say that you won't have a partner, but it's interesting how different the piles have been in terms of like the partner being involved. So with that said, I want to get into the tarot to see how else this pregnancy will go. Oh, and also you will feel very motivated to live the kind of life that you have always wanted, because I'm kind of getting the sense that for a lot of you, you will know that there's things you have to give up because of pregnancy. So you may decide, well, if this is how it's going to be, I definitely know I want to live here in this kind of home with this kind of life. So you go full into putting your energy into living that kind of life. So like I said, if you want to live out in the middle of nowhere, you may decide to, move away from the city and move there and live there for the next few years or for however long, because I kind of see you just giving in to the dreams that you have never really taken a chance on. Even if it is while you're pregnant, it's like, this might be the last time I can do it, which might explain why I get such an individual nature and energy from this pile, because you will be focused on yourself, because it might be the last time you can focus on yourself until your child is old enough to look after themselves or something of that nature. So important dates could be the 4th or the 7th. April or July could be important as well. April 7th or July 4th, which is Independence Day in the US. So again, we already mentioned independence earlier, so I wonder if that's going to be an important, either your independence or the independence that you will have to give up are going to be important in your pregnancy. So for pile 5, let's go ahead and look at your, how does conception go? Right away I heard IVF, so I guess some of you could use IVF if that is your preferred method, or if that's going to be the method you would end up going with. Interesting. We have the Seven of Pentacles again. Why is this? Can I get a clarifier? We have the Four of Wands. Yeah, I get the feeling that you keep working towards something, or you keep trying, so you eventually just go with IVF, or maybe a surrogate for some of you. So I feel like it's like I keep getting like you try, and eventually you take. And take that as it resonates. If it's not IVF, it could be with your partner. Maybe you guys keep trying, you know, for a kid, and it's like you finally reach that point. Because it does feel like, yeah, I just keep here, you keep trying, and then it finally happens. Four of Wands is a celebration. It's like being happy that something happened. So yeah, I do get the feeling that you might have to try more than once. So it might not be like a, for example, it's not accidental, it's not something that was unexpected. This is something that you were very much expecting, hence why you feel the need to work for it. And if that's not something you want right now, pile 5, or I shouldn't say right now, but if that's not something you want, this could be the universe like giving you a hint to well, I guess I don't know, I don't like giving that advice, but if this isn't something you want, you could always ask the universe for something easier, or something that is more appropriate to the things that you want. So take that as it resonates, but I do see a lot of you trying. Of course, if you're trying naturally, this could be fun with you and your partner, of course, but I do see a sense of either frustration or worry, like right before you become pregnant. So take that as it resonates. Now your partner, let's see what your partner, what about them? Let's put it here. We have the Eight of Wands. Alignment and progress. Okay, yeah, they're gonna want to keep trying and trying, which is fun. Also, they have boundless energy. I don't know if they're already very energetic to begin with, or if they're just that kind of person where like nothing tires them out. But I get that like before and after, like they're definitely going to be somebody who's like running around doing stuff for you, for themselves. It's almost like they're at your beck and call, which is kind of cute. Let's get one more. I want to get another card for them. I see alignment and progress here, which lets me know that they're going to be very much ready and open for this as well. Maybe more so than you, or maybe in a different way. Because your energy is very chill and laid back, and theirs is more like they get stuff done, they get things going. If it's not them themselves, they could like hire people to do things for you, like maybe around the house as well. But I see a lot of energy from your person. And the Hierophant, which is interesting. Taurus energy here for sure, which I know not everybody associates Taurus with like high energy, which is ironic because I'm a Taurus and I have a lot of I've been told I have a lot of energy and I'm very quick, so I'm kind of getting that. I am also getting that this person can be very traditional, or they may incorporate like some traditions into this. So this could involve their family, your family. I guess it would depend on their culture and background. Like maybe there's certain things that they do that happen during pregnancy, or during, what am I looking? I'm seeing like henna on a belly, which I don't know if maybe some of you come from that culture, or your person could come from that culture and they could want you to share in that, which is cute. But I'm getting a similar thing. So whatever their culture is, that could be what they want to share with you in terms of pregnancy. And I guess this depends on your culture. You never know what is cultural and not until you get really close to someone. But for example, if they come from like a religious background and they want to do a baptism, you might cave in and be like, okay, we can do a baptism, like stuff like that. But what else am I getting here? Oh, I forget. Okay, I guess I wasn't meant to say that. But anyway, the next is going to be how pregnancy changes you. I'm also getting that your person, regardless of age, they have a strong maturity to them. Like, yes, they might act like, but again, they have a lot of energy, which gives me like, you know how young people have energy? That's kind of what I'm getting. So they could act young, but they could have a lot of maturity. Or if they're younger, they could have maturity beyond their years. I guess it depends on the ages of you and your partner, or when this happens. All right, so how will pregnancy change you? We have, the Nine of Wands and the Emperor. I feel like you become very defensive. Think mama bear energy, papa bear energy, mostly mama bear, because I feel like you're going to protect everything that you want to protect at all costs, like your peace of mind, your family, your everything. I feel like you're going to be, some of you could become much more private or secretive. Like maybe you don't feel the need to broadcast to the whole world, you know, like that you're pregnant, and like if it's going to be a boy or a girl or whatever. Not saying that you don't have, not saying that you shouldn't. It's more like you're going to be very protective. It's like you'll show people what you want to show them. You don't have to show them everything. And then with the Emperor, I'm getting you wanting to be in control of everything. So there might be a very controlling nature within you that comes through during pregnancy as well. Another way of seeing these two cards could be that you become very defensive over your partner. If we were to put your partner in Emperor energy, which typically, regardless of your genders, of course, that is how it is viewed. The Empress would be the pregnant woman and the Emperor would be the father here. So take that as it resonates, and take that only if it fits you. But I do get that some of you might become very protective of your partner as well, or defending them. Not that you want to control them, but it's more like, for example, if you know you have a family that disapproves of them, you might decide to protect them more than not, or maybe even defend them from your friends and stuff like that. But take that only if it resonates. Mostly I am seeing that you become very protective of your life. So delivery, date of delivery, the birth date. Four of Pentacles, conservation and practicality. I do see there being a delay. Like maybe it happens much later. Also, I've noticed the number 4 has come through 3 times already, because we have the 4 of Wands, the Emperor, which is the number 4, and then the 4 of Pentacles. So definitely April could be important, or the 4th of any month. But I'm seeing a delay. So maybe you have the child later, or maybe the child doesn't want to come out, so you might end up having a C-section or something like that. Or maybe there's even a part of you that doesn't want the pregnancy to end because you're enjoying it so much, which I know, I've never been pregnant, but I know people out there who really do enjoy the pregnancy process to the point that they've become like professional surrogates and stuff. But I'm seeing you wanting to hold on to something, and maybe even learning to let go. There could be some subconscious thoughts or patterns or systems in place regarding letting go that could be affecting this as well. If not you, it could also be your partner, but I'm not really getting that as much. But I'm getting the sense that delivery will be either a little bit more prolonged or a little bit more, it's going to take a little bit longer, which is interesting. And of course, if you don't like that, idea, that could just be, again, the universe letting you know that you can ask them for something much more easy, much more smoothly. I guess it all depends, but I am seeing that. Another way of seeing this is that you may release something in the process of birthing. Like maybe literally, not only are you, of course, releasing a baby from your body, but you could be releasing a lot of specific energies from your soul, like from your subconscious. Not onto the baby, of course, but just like into the world, which is interesting because I've witnessed that, because there are certain people, certain women that when they become pregnant, they release like old parts of themselves, not just, the obvious, like their freedom or their youth or whatever. It's more like they release certain mentalities and certain mindsets that just didn't make sense to them, or wouldn't make sense going into the new life that they have, especially for first-time mothers. I see that more with them. So that's what I'm getting for that. And then postpartum, what kind of life will you have after? We have the Fool reversed. It's not the first time I've had this card come through. I feel like motherhood will be very natural for you. Like, yes, it's the first time you're doing it for a lot of you, but it also feels not very new. I usually get this card with past life energy, like past life motherhood energy, because this Fool specifically just happens to look like a ghost, with like the bed sheets over them. So I do get like motherhood being very intuitive for you. It's going to be something that just comes naturally to you. Like even if you think right now, oh, I could never, I don't understand how mothers do it or how they know what to do. I feel like you're going to tap into that very naturally. I mean, anybody who watches tarot, I think, would be a very naturally intuitive mother because the intuition is already strong to begin with. But specifically for you, pile 5, it is coming through as well. I do want to get more cards specifically about this releasing thing, because I can already tell some of you are freaking out like, oh my gosh, I don't want a long pregnancy or a long what's it called, delivery. Some of you may be able to tell that I've never had kids because of what I call things. I want a long labor. I don't want to be in labor for too long. You have the Empress, beautiful. Especially when, okay, so like this isn't the first pile where the Empress and Emperor have come through, nor is it the first pile where like the Lovers have come through, which are to me like the most partner-centric kind of cards or card combinations in tarot, letting me know that your partner will be involved. Just because they didn't come through here in the reading as much doesn't mean that they won't be, because I can also feel that being like a concern. I just feel like they become a very grounding presence so you can take care of yourself. We have the 3 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Yeah, because for a lot of you, you might have a tendency to freak out, which might explain why there's like a very peaceful energy in the beginning, because the universe is wanting you to focus on taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health throughout this entire time. Because I can see the worries and I can see the maybe even the indecision here. We have development and opportunity. So I do feel like this will bring a lot of opportunities both during and after, interestingly. Like you may get an opportunity for, if not a career, because I do get the feeling that a lot of you will not be working. It could be an opportunity to live in certain places, to start certain projects, to begin, again, the fertileness is coming through, the fertility is coming through, to begin something fruitful. So if you wanted to start a business during pregnancy, could be a great time actually, or to set up the foundation of one, or you can work from home, or even learning. You could decide to take on a particular new course for something to develop your skills or to learn something new that could end up being helpful in the future, which is really interesting because I see a lot of moments of inaction, but in that inaction, in that stillness, the stillness is really a facade because we're always doing something. Even if doing nothing is doing nothing, it's still doing something. So for a lot of you, you may decide to develop your skills or work on something. Actually, off camera, I'm looking at a picture of a woman doing yoga. So maybe some of you decide to take up yoga or any sort of like very calming practice as well. And you may continue that into your post-pregnancy life, just kind of to keep you occupied or to develop a new skill that could come in handy. But this is what I see. Yeah, because the Fool could also be taking on like a new endeavor, but it may go really well and in conjunction with your postpartum life. So let's go ahead and get your final cards, pile 5. This pile has been very peaceful because usually this time of the day, like my neighborhood is very noisy, like people stomping around the bathrooms, you hear the pipes going because everybody's trying to get ready, but it's been a very peaceful morning. So life may become very peaceful for you. I think specifically if you do worry a lot, I almost said freak out, but I don't think a lot of you freak out. But if you worry a lot, I feel like the universe may make it a point to make things easy for you. I am okay with who I am. I am not perfect, but I am always learning and growing. Yeah, you're always learning and growing. And I feel like you could be one of those people who likes to learn. Like maybe you just take up certain... Oh, my ears started ringing as I said that. You may like to take up certain courses just for the heck of it, just for the fun of it. Like maybe you just learn languages, like specifically languages that you know you're not even going to use, like Latin or ancient Greek or, stuff like that, just to learn. Or you may decide to take up like a history course or something. And you may end up being able to teach that or to do something with it after. And your partner will be very supportive of this as well. I was getting that with the Hierophant. Oh, so sweet. And here we have the mother card. This hasn't come out in any of them, but it's a mother nursing. Watching the ducks, nurturing, helping things grow is so rewarding. Whether it's a garden, an idea, or a tiny child, what can you nurture? Didn't we bring that up in the beginning? The nurturing, the garden, the baby, like everything here is just in alignment. Maybe you really love the idea of watching something grow, and that's the main reason you wanted to become a mother in the first place, or a parent here. Oh, so sweet. Sleeping fawn, self-care, nurture yourself. It's okay to take some time out. I'm wondering, because the partner here was so very wildly different from this energy, if some of you used to be very like fast and energetic and go, 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 that by the time you become pregnant, it's like you do a 180 and you decide to just chill, which is kind of funny. And we have this owl, white owl insight, perceptive and intuitive. You penetrate beyond the surface. Trust your instincts. Yeah, I do feel like your intuition will kick in. It may not kick in until after you give birth, though. I am getting that. Like maybe during pregnancy, you thought your intuition would be amplified, but I feel like it's more late for you. Or yeah, like I said, because you are intuitive. So if your intuition isn't exactly at its highest during the pregnancy, when the hormones are, you know, all over the place, I do feel like it will settle in more after you give birth. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile 5. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like more readings like this, you can let me know in the comments below as well. I am sending you so much love. Take care.